I was 7 months pregnant when my mom sat me down in her living room and said, "We've all discussed it as a family, and we think you should give the baby to your sister." I looked around the room and realized this wasn't a casual visit. My dad was sitting in his armchair with his arms crossed, and my sister Brooke was on the couch next to my mom with red puffy eyes like she'd been crying for hours. They were all staring at me and my husband like we were the problem, like we had done something wrong by having a baby together. My mom had told us to come over to chat about the baby shower, but there was no party planning spread on the table, just 3 people who had clearly rehearsed this exact conversation without us. I had asked my husband to come with me because I knew something was wrong, and now I was grateful he was sitting right beside me with his hand on my back. Brooke had been struggling to get pregnant for 5 years, and somewhere along the way my family had decided that her pain was our responsibility to fix. We were standing in that living room completely outnumbered, and the worst part was that they had just asked us to give away our child like it was a reasonable request. The truth is, I should have seen this coming months ago. When I first announced my pregnancy at a family dinner, Brooke burst into tears and ran to the bathroom while my mom chased after her without even acknowledging me. A week later, Brooke called me and said, "You know, you could always be my surrogate since you clearly have no trouble getting knocked up." And when I told her that was insane, she laughed and said she was only joking, but she wasn't joking. She started showing up at my doctor appointments uninvited and told the receptionist she was my birthing coach, so they would let her into the ultrasound room. My mom said I should be grateful for the support. Brooke threw herself an anti-shower with a registry that included a stroller and a convertible crib, and my mom told me I was being territorial when I confronted her about it. Then I found out Brooke had been telling the extended family she was going to co-parent with me because I was too young to handle it alone, even though I was 28 with a husband and a career. Then last week I stopped by Brooke's house to return a dish, and something told me to follow her upstairs. I found a fully decorated nursery with a white crib and butterfly decals everywhere. Brooke appeared behind me and whispered, "I told you I'd be ready when the time came." I called my mom that night and told her what I found, and she said we should all sit down and discuss it when I came over to plan the baby shower. I told my husband everything, and we made a decision together. Brooke was not going to be part of our daughter's life at all, and we were going to that meeting to tell my family in person. I never even got the chance to say what I came to say. The moment we walked in, my mom delivered that line about giving the baby to Brooke, and the speech I had rehearsed in the car disappeared from my brain. My husband stepped forward and said, "Are you people out of your minds?" My mom explained that Brooke had been struggling for so long and that I was young enough to have more children, and that this would be the generous thing to do for my sister. I told them about the nursery, about the appointments she crashed, about the lies she told the family, about all of it. My mom nodded slowly and said, "That just proves how much she wants this, honey." I looked at my dad waiting for him to say something reasonable, but he just shrugged and said, "Your sister would be a great mother, you know that." Brooke hadn't said a single word this whole time, but suddenly she stood up and looked directly at me with tears streaming down her face. "You don't even appreciate what you have," she said, her voice cracking. "You got pregnant by accident, and I've been trying for 5 years." Her voice got louder and louder until she was screaming. "You don't deserve to be a mother. You never even wanted kids." My mom immediately rushed over to comfort her, and my dad shot me a look like I had caused this. I felt something snap inside me, and I said, "You are all completely insane. None of you will ever meet my daughter." Nobody even flinched. My mom just sighed and said, "You're being dramatic," while she kept rubbing Brooke's back. My husband grabbed my hand and said, "We're leaving," and I let him pull me toward the door. The last thing I heard was my mom calling after us saying, "You're tearing this family apart over nothing." My daughter was born 2 months later, and my family wasn't there. Sometimes I think about what it would have been like to have my own mom there, but then I remember the way she comforted Brooke while she was screaming that I didn't deserve to be a mother. I don't miss them. My daughter is 6 months old now, and she has my eyes and her father's smile, and she will never know that she has an aunt.